Hey folks, welcome back to our video tutorial on working with the tilt slider. In this tutorial, I'd like to show you how to replace the images that you see in the tilt slider. One of the really cool features about this particular slider is it will display images stacked, one on top of the other like so, or it will display them sort of side by side, as you'll see in the next slide. There you go, side by side. Now just something to keep in mind when replacing the pictures. Picture size. I recommend nothing larger than 640 wide by 640 tall. That's sort of tip number one. You can put as big a picture as you want in there. The CSS and the slider script, they're just going to scrunch it down and resize it for you anyways, so it fits. However, there's a couple of recommendations. One is don't go beyond 640 by 480 or 640 by 640 because after that it's just going to be too big and you're just going to be wasting file size. The other thing for image sizes are you need to determine if they're going to be stacked on top of each other or if they're going to be side by side. If side by side, just make sure the images are more portrait mode if you could, or square. So you want to make sure the picture is taller than it is wider. Right? If they're going to be one on top, then they should be landscape. In this case, these images here are actually 640 by 480. And these images here, they're actually a little bit smaller. They're about 300 by 480. Right? They're only 300 wide by about 480 tall. Although they are a completely different size in the page here, that's because they're automatically resized to fit as best they can. To replace the pictures, let's go into our Dreamweaver and let's go into the library, the sliders, and the tilt slider folder. Now what we have in here is the images folder, and in here we've put, the slide images as well as the background images. And to give you a little bit of a heads up on how we name these, just to keep ourselves organized, we've said slide 1-1, slide 1-2, slide 2-1, slide 2-2. You can name them however you want. I just did this to make it easy to keep organized for myself. As far as your image, like I talked about the image sizes, you can put whatever images you want in here into the images folder, and then you can go ahead and replace them in the page. And to replace an image in the page, just open up your tilt slider library page. Scroll down. Hey, there's my images. I want to replace this image here with a new one. Just double click on it. It opens up the select image source tool within Dreamweaver, and all you would need to do is actually browse to the images folder, right? So you go, there's your website, right? Go into the library, go into the sliders, go into the tilt slider, and then the images folder, and select your replacement image, maybe this one right here. Click OK, and you see it's replaced in the page for you already. Of course, I've replaced it with the same image I had down below, so that was a bit of a bad example, but it gives you an idea. Dreamweaver already has the tools. The way we put the library pages and the assets together, we're just trying to capitalize on how to make those tools work most efficiently. Using the double click and select image source, that's going to be one of the easiest ways for you to replace images. And the other cool thing about this is when you actually select a picture, over here it tells you the size of the image and the actual file size. So this one's 647 by 470. Right, this picture here is 300 by 470, so I was off by a couple of pixels when I was talking about them earlier in the day there. So